Hi everyone, Andy on for Apply Shuriken. I'm going to take you through a little tutorial for Heian Sandan. Very short kata, 20 movements. This is a great kata. It's kind of a grappler's kata. There's all kinds of throws in this particular form. Although this tutorial is just going to be on how to perform the kata. It should be helpful for those of you just learning the kata, also for those of you who want to have some pointers in how to perform it. Okay, so we'll start off with a bow. First movement is a uchi-uke to the side in koko tadashi or back stance. So I like to bend first as I chamber my arms. I'm going to look to the left and I have my uchi-uke. Okay, your koko tadashi is your back stance, heavily weighted on your back leg, hence turn back stance. With hikite, and your fist should be about shoulder height. From there, I'm going to stand up tall and I'm going to do this so-called double block. This arm is going to essentially do what looks like a geidan, while this arm simultaneously does what looks like an uchi-uke, looks like this. And you're going to do that in a tall posture. So I stand up like this. Okay, so a couple of pointers here on how to do this particular motion. The hand going up is going to pass on the outside, while the hand going down is going to pass on the inside. Also, when you do this, you want to collapse your arms towards your chest as they cross, and then I come back out as I finish the movement. So it's in, out, in, out. Let's start from the beginning again. Movement 1, lower your weight, chamber, uchi-uke. Stand tall. This is going to be my uchi-uke. This hand's my geidan. 2. From there, I'm going to do the same thing. 3. Okay, so in terms of your hip motion, think of your hips for that initial motion, a little motion like this to kind of kickstart that leg movement. So 1, like that. For that second movement, again, as I stand tall, right now my belly button, if I had a laser beam come out of my belly button, it's pointing this way. I'm going to turn my hips so that laser beam goes in this direction. So shoot that hip forward to execute this movement number 2. So like this. You should have the feeling of your abdominal muscles tight. You're kind of tucking in your tailbone like this. All right, so 1, 2. For movement 3, same thing. There's going to be a little hip vibration like that. And then I repeat the same sequence on the other side. So movement 4, what I like to teach is I have a sinking as I chamber and I turn. So 3 things happening same time. Sink, chamber, turn. So the first part is going to look like this. Right? Sink, chamber, turn. Then I finish my uchi-uke on the other side. Same thing here. Engage the hip. 5, and then again 6. Let's look at those first 6 movements one more time. Right? So 1, 2, and 3. Same thing, other side. Sink, turn, chamber. 4, 5, and 6. So from there, we're going to move forward and we're going to perform a marate-uke, or so-called augmented block. Again, sink. My hands are going to start moving toward the target line. Shoot your hip forward like this to initiate this movement into your stance. 7. Okay, let's look at that again from the beginning. We have 1, 2, use that hip, little vibration. 2, again, 3, 4, and then 5, again, engage the hip. Don't just kind of come like this. That's what a lot of beginners do. Engage the hips to initiate the hand movements. 5 and 6. Sink down, shoot your leg forward, use your hip turn to shoot your leg forward into your back stance, your koko tadashi. There. All right, from there, I like to accentuate this motion, this so-called pressing block, as I move forward into my nukite. So you're going to move into a front stance. This comes down as I move. This hand is going to open up, and I finish in here. So if you were to look this way at my arm formation, my left hand is just above the elbow there, and your nukite, your so-called spear hand strike, really makes the awful strike. I like to use it as a bicep bump, but that's a topic for another video. So this arm above the elbow, and your nukite is centered to here. Again, not because it's really that useful of a strike. So from my Murata Uke, press, and your Nukite. So I'm in a front stance here. Okay, let's rewind here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next is probably the most difficult part of the kata for those just learning it. You're going to spin counterclockwise, and you're going to do a hammer fist strike and finish in kibadachi. Okay, so as I spin, I like to start by moving this hand thumb points down like that. Right, as my feet come together, I'm here. Again, part of this is the way I do the kata. It's not necessarily what your sensei is going to teach. So in your dojo, do as your sensei instructs, but this is my way of performing the kata. Okay, so it comes here, and I'm going to put my forearm across my belt. Here, as I turn. This hand's getting ready for a spin, and that what can be a back fist strike. I continue pivoting on my right heel. As I finish, this hand is going to finish in this kamae position, this hikite here. So it comes here. There's my hammer fist strike. All right, let's go back to the Murata Uke. There's movement 7, movement 8. And again, my hips are square. My Nukite is centered. I turn my thumb down, start moving my feet together. As I spin, this comes here. Finish with my hammer fist strike. One more time, a little more fluidly. Right, from Murata Uke, we give our Nukite. And there. Next movement is very, very easy. We just finish with a Oizuki, and that's your first ki. Right, let's do that sequence one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll back up so you can see me and finish with 10, your first ki. All right, that's the first half of kata. So next motion, in your head, if you count to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's roughly how long it should take you to stand up. Your finishing posture is going to be your knuckles framed against your hip bones right there. Elbows are a little bit forward. Okay, let's have a look at that. Very simple. I stand up and finish here. So you see some Shotokan kata, you'll have some motions performed slowly. It has nothing to do with application. It's really just the aesthetic performance of the kata itself. Right, let's do that again. Stand up slowly. Knuckles framed on my hip bones. Elbows out to the side. Elbows pressed forward a little bit. Okay, from here we have, this motion is repeated 3 times. I'm going to raise my knee almost as if I'm doing a front kick, but I'm going to stomp down and finish in kibadachi at the same time I turn my body. Here. Some people will say this is a block. It doesn't really make sense to me. It's better used as a throw. Again, another topic for another video. We have here, and then this hand is going to execute what looks like a vertical back fist strike. The Shotokan version here, I'm coming down like this. Down and return to your hip. I'll repeat that motion on the other side. 1, 2. And again, one more time. 1, 2. Let's look at that from a different angle. All right, so I stand up. Nice big knee raise. There. Okay, let's go back to the very beginning one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I stand up tall. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, from there, you're going to do what looks like a grab. It certainly can be that. And this movement is done a bit slowly. As I do that, this elbow is going to fold back into this kamae position. Okay, it's like this. As soon as I finish this, I step forward with Oizuki. Let's look at that from the other angle. So my last one of these, I come out with this kind of grasping motion, This folds to my side. I step forward and punch. Okay, back to this angle. One, finish Oizuki. Okay, so for the last section of the kata, let's first just look at the footwork. So I'm in a left leg forward front stance, or Zenku Tsudashi. My feet are going to come up here. Then I spin, and I finish in Kibadachi. Let's look at that one more time. Those just learning the kata often struggle with this. All right, so here's my Oizuki. 1, 2. All right, for those judoka out there, you might be thinking this looks like a throw, and it does. 1 and 2. Okay, let's add the hand motions to it. So from here, I put my feet kind of together again, and as I turn, this hand has what feels like a punching motion of the shoulder, although I wouldn't argue this to be a punch, and this hand pulls back in hikite. Right, so it looks like this, nice and slow. 1 and 2. And from there, the last motion of the kata, I shuffle sideways. 1, 2, 1, 2, not a hop. It's a shuffle, and I just repeat that motion on the other side, and there's your last ki. Okay, let's go through the whole sequence from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stand up tall. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, one more time. This time, no counting. I'll just do it with a little bit of speed and at the proper rhythm that the kata is supposed to be performed at. Alright, I'm Andy Allen for Apply Shotokan. Thanks for watching.